I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's
Paper.
nobody.
On our wall.
We've got a recording binge of the Quarantine Chronicles coming up.
Yeah,
This,
you gotta send
however,
me my things
your
to
script,
memorize.
yeah. This, however, is Seeds of the Desolate is the name of the song. Solitude, Aeternus is the name of the band. Beyond the Crimson Horizon. I like the term crimson. Anything with crimson in it, I'm a fan. So Beyond the Crimson Horizon by Solitude, Aeternus, I think it is. And this is in the, what is this?
Oh, this is the Epic Underground.
Epic Underground. Shout out to the
EU.
Shout out to the EU. So there's multiple ways to get your song reviewed, dear listener. The beautiful Sori will inform you.
Okay, one of the ways,
Remember
if you're
the
like
foreleg?
me.
The foreleg informed me that it's been poisoned. Shout out to the big homie.
So if you're like me and you don't want to like wait or work with other people, then the easiest way to get that done is to jump on Patreon on the $125 tier.
Yes, sir.
Or to go through PayPal. Link is in the description of this video. And you just let us know what song you want us to do, and it's yours for the taking. Unless you've done it with us before and you've done it 3 times with us before, then you automatically can take it at $75 instead of $125. Also, if you've done 3 times with us on $125, you can jump down to $75 for your reviews after that.
Yeah.
But that's like the me way. If you want to follow Vin's way,
You're not
which
a
is
selfish, filthy capitalist.
no, it's just that if you have time
options.
and you want to work with other people, and it's a great way to meet other people socially, and you can be as involved or as more involved or less involved depending on what it is that you want. And so you're just gonna join up in the alliances that you start at Patreon, and it's for as little as $1 a month, and you can jump into an alliance and meet other people, and you guys influence the song. That's where this one came from. This one came from one group that we have that's called the Epic Underground, and they picked this song for us to review. So, also, you can send us messages on, vinandsori@gmail.com, or you can put it in the comment section,
Instagram,
or Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram, all those different places. And our website is well on its way, ladies and gentlemen. So
Very, very excited. Vin and Dash, is it Dash Sori?
yeah.
I'm trying to find her.
But don't forget, Vin has a political channel. So if you want to see that,
For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori.
I mean, that's what you like to say. I just like to say he has a political channel, and it's Vin style. So it may not be what you think it's going to be.
It's the best political channel on TV.
It is.
Forget Rising, forget all those people. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm number 1. I really do believe that. But
I was gonna be like, he doesn't say dumb stuff like the Young Turks. He doesn't.
we're at war. Vote for Biden. We're at war.
He
Vote
doesn't
for
spit on
Biden.
people like Jimmy Dore.
No, I wouldn't have spit on him. But if they came at my people like that, I would have probably done something. But
Yeah,
I wouldn't have spit on the guy.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't have spit
Jimmy
on
Dore.
him.
I like Jimmy Dore though. But anyway,
spit
doesn't
out.
matter.
I
He's not
wouldn't.
as good as Vin.
No.
Okay, ready? Put your headphones on, babe. And go.
Fuck your feelings.
What?
Ooh. I'm liking the Desolate chair. I'm a big fan of the Desolate chair. This is one of the rare songs where I like the musicianship more than the lyrics. And the lyrics were not
epic doom metal.
They were not cheap lyrics. They were good lyrics, but I just that ding, ding, and then in the background the chugging. That's something I never really learned to do. I was always like, but like that.
So aggressive.
But it still has a really cool sound. I guess that's a doom metal sound or whatever. But every time I've listened to a song, I would always like do the chuggy parts, and I wouldn't master that type of thingy. But those are important. Like if you look at all the songs that are like my top favorite songs, like you got that in the background, and it's important. But I never mastered how to do that because I just wanted to chug. But then like, why do you have two guitars then? Everybody's just chugging along. What's the point of having two guitars? I never really mastered that. But that's a consequence of playing by yourself for years and years and never playing in a band. So that when you get into a band, you know. And unfortunately, the one band that I was in, I was the best guitarist. And so we didn't really have a lot of leeway to go anywhere. If I was the best guitarist. The drummer was a badass, though. The drummer was like professional level, good drummer. He had no business playing with us at all. But
and yet there he was.
Well, it was his brother. And we were Christians, so there's not many,
a lot of places you can go.
he didn't have much. He didn't have much choice, but
plus you had some culture.
We had some culture. Well, we were so horrible that he jumped on a plane and went to China, and then found his girlfriend and married her, and so they lived happily ever after. So he fled America because he was in such a terrible band.
Oh Lord.
We would have done okay live though. We'd have done okay because I would have brought the energy.
Sure.
I'd have brought the energy. And the stage presence would have been fun. But
yeah.
Anyway, I really like the musicianship in this.
So did I.
Song. But we must not fall, and then at first sign of light when it got all chunky, like there was zero transition. It was just A to Z, and I generally don't like that. And this time I didn't like it that much either. I didn't really like that type of transition. Like I like it when. I like it when it changes, when the pitch changes and the tempo changes, but it sneaks up on you, which the best band of all time that does that in my mind is Tool, where it's like you've gone through 5 or 6 rhythm changes, but you had no idea that it happened, whereas this one, it was just like kind of like a 90-degree angle, and I'm not a fan of those types of transitions.
I was fine with it.
You like that stuff. You saying you liked it?
Yeah, I loved it. I liked his vocal style and how he kept changing it. And there was, that was one part of it where he was cathedral sounding to me. You know what I mean? And it seemed like I was like, is he stretching himself too far? But
what do you mean?
Like I wasn't sure. Like, can he do this? It really sounded like he was having a hard time like Rob Halford, he's doing it, and you're like, that's no struggle at all.
Completely effortless. Yeah.
The man could break a glass, and you know what I mean. Like, but I was like, I don't know. Like, but I would like to see them do this live.
Who's the vocalist? The vocalist sounded so familiar. Robert Lowe. Yeah, he's a singer for Candlemass between 2007 and 2012. I don't think we've done Candlemass, so. But sonically, he sounded like somebody I knew before.
I liked it. I liked the sound of it.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
The visuals that they had in here, these places. When I was in Latvia, which is by Russia, we had to go in this abandoned. It looked like this, full of this trash and all that, and we had to clean the whole place up because they were going to put kids in there to learn. It's like it looked so dangerous. In America, it would never fly. Nobody would ever let the kids go in there. But it was in Russia. Well, it was in Latvia, and they let him. And then it said youth on the window. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the same thing. And it was so crazy. I remember I was never so impressed with old women in my life. There was women, they were so old. I'm telling you, they were probably in their 70s. And there was no men there helping except for the guys that were on my team. And there was barely no young women. It was all these older women, like in their 70s. They all came together and they swept this whole area with, it looked like a broom that you made, a witch broom or something from out in the woods, like all the branches.
Yeah.
That's what they swept the whole thing with, bent over, because the other thing was, I didn't understand why nobody had tall sticks like we have in America. They had short ones. They were bent way over, sweeping this entire floor.
Yeah,
and they cooked a bunch before, so they had a whole bunch of food there for everybody. So they got up early and worked, and then they got down there and they worked back-breaking work all day long.
Yeah, those people, they're like
Their resolution was so strong.
Yeah, those are hard people, man. They didn't let the communists
break them.
Yeah. Sorry, BM fan, but your people, man, they're evil as hell, bro.
So anyway, it just reminded me of that.
Shout out to BM fan.
I had to give those women a shout out.
Damn communists.
That was some amazing stuff that I saw. I said, whoa, I want to be like that when I'm their age. Of course, you spoil me too much inside.
I was going to say, what do you mean? Please. You see a little bug rock across the floor, you have a nervous breakdown, epileptic seizure.
God.
Get out.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, it's
Start
not
crying
like that.
and shit. Yeah, she starts crying and shit.
Please.
Yeah, forget it. She ain't
Please.
Yeah, she don't want a hard life, bro. She doesn't want a hard life. No. You're probably in the top 1 percentile of the most spoiled female Homo sapiens on the planet.
That's your fault. That's nobody's fault but you.
I'm not complaining. I was just making an observation. But you're not really about that life. You're not.
All right, ready? That's a Fortnite thing?
Yeah, it's very strange that I gotta change the stuff on my phone because I don't want updates on Fortnite on my phone. Not while I'm working. I'm focused. Fortnite. I'm focused right now.
Okay. Anyway, back to the review.
That's just stuck in my head.
What's the song about? I just let the song kind of take me and kind of reminisced and enjoyed the sounds and the vocals and.
Okay, so he says, shifting silent shades of seething thoughts abroad, muck and shallow graves, not of solid earth, silhouette charades of cascading shattered walls, confusing conscience crazed, but we must not fall. At the first sign of light, we approach the once closed door, a gaping hole to that beyond where men should go no more. Descending stairs of icy stone, carved by man himself. We built these frigid cavern halls where limbonic lives have crept. Chorus! The seeds of the desolate sown in the blood of ourselves, the seeds of the desolate, have we forever failed? We stepped into that swallowing void, exchanging life for death, descending downward, ever intent, taking life from our fellow man. I think that's the salient line right there. I speak to fragile forms moving in mass, to men with intent awry, to solid forms of earth and mind whose burden equals mine. So I think this song is about the moment when you actually do the ultimate taboo and take a human life.
What?
And
really?
Yeah. Well, it says exchanging life for death, taking life from our fellow man. So up here it talks about muck and shallow graves, not a solid earth, silhouette charades of cascading shattered walls, confusing conscience craves. If your conscience is craving, absolution is what I'm assuming. But we must not fall. At the first sign of light, we approach the once closed door, a gaping hole to that beyond. The beyond would be the afterlife. And it's a closed door to all of us because we're on this side of it. But when you send somebody to the afterlife, you've opened that door and you cannot close it again. Because that's a permanent thing you just did.
What's limbonic?
I don't know what limbonic is. I tried to Google it.
Limbonic lives?
But limbonic is a... I don't think limbonic is an actual word. I think it's some way to talk about limbo. Because every time I put limbonic in Google, it just goes to this band called Limbonic Art. See what I'm saying? You go straight to Limbonic Art. So I don't know if it's a made up word that talks about the existence of a person in limbo. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
Limbo is it's a place where the unbaptized dead go.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
But there's a band called Limbonic Art, and they've got a thing, Chronicles of Limbo. See right there in 2000. So I think Limbonic has then in the middle. It's one of those. It's kind of like arsenokoites in Greek, where Paul just made up a word.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of it. So limbonic. When I see limbonic lives, I just take that to mean people that are stuck in limbo.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Which is interesting because they're not... Limbo is the place where... It's not purgatory, because in purgatory you're doing sataspatio, where you're actually suffering. But the suffering is a redemptive suffering because you're eventually going to go to heaven. The people in hell, they're suffering, but it's non-redemptive suffering. It's just, hell. Limbo is very interesting because limbo you're not necessarily suffering, but you're just basically wandering forever. But you're not being necessarily judged. So you're not judged, but you're not good enough to get to heaven. That's limbo. We don't believe that. But so it is kind of interesting because you kind of live in a state of limbo after you've taken a human life because you're not judged, especially if you do it in some sort of,
I can't imagine.
in some sort of way that's sanctioned by your particular community. You can't, so you're not judged, but you're living in a constant state that you should be judged. You feel like you should be judged, but you're not judged, so you're kind of in a state of limbo. We built these frigid cavern halls where limbonic lives have crept, and I think that it's talking about like all the justifications or whatever that human beings do to justify why they've taken another human life. And it's kind of a cold, icy thing because you're kind of having to silence your conscience and you're stuck in limbo because you know you should be judged, but you got away with it. And, you know, we've talked about it before. This is why we have medals and things like that for people who've done killing on the battlefield, because it's a way for the community to tell the guy, yeah, you did this horrible thing and you should be judged, but you shouldn't be. Here's this medal that is a visual and physical tactile reminder that we sanctioned this killing.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that's why it was so powerful when those guys in Vietnam, they came back and they threw all their medals over the fence because they were saying, well, we reject society's sanctioning of our killing these people. And it, ironically enough, in that way of rejecting the sanctioning of the killing, they were able to reconcile their own self to their conscience. So, I think that that's what it means. The seeds of the desolate sowed in the blood of ourselves. You know, you can't really get much deeper within a human being than blood, right? So, it's kind of like, this is something intrinsic to human beings. Surprise, surprise. This theme continues in metal of the inherent goodness of the human being. But it's sown in our blood, which is, I mean, it's like, that's one of the most poetic ways of saying whatever this is, it's intrinsic. It's inside of us. It's not outside of us. It's inside of us. The outside just creates a situation in which the inside can be displayed. And so there you go. Have we forever failed? You kind of do get put in that situation as a human being when you see or you take part in, you know, whatever sort of justified killing that your particular group. It was really interesting. I've been listening to a lot of these mafia guys, and they were talking about killing, and I couldn't really differentiate them from other killers that I knew that have been sanctioned by their particular mafia. And it was funny because one of the guys said, look, everybody was bad that we killed.
Yeah.
And he's right. You know, Sammy the Bull, you know, he snitched on John Gotti, and they put him in the witness protection program, but Gotti snitched on him first. So, you know, I was never in that life, so whatever. You know, who knows what I would have done. But if guys like Michael Frances and Gotti snitched, then I'm not going to say I got more gangster me than those guys. Especially when the guy that you've been protecting for 20 years turns you into the... Of course, I'm like, it was him! But it was really interesting because you had the families of some of his victims. And they were all, you know, oh my God, he's terrible, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I don't feel sorry for any of those people. And you're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, their fathers and husbands were murderers too. And I told you, like, one of the guys, you know, one of the most animated girl, I think it was her dad or something, I said, the way that they got that guy, that they lured him into that bar, was because they told him he was going to kill somebody else. So, how do you feel? Like, I don't feel bad for you, bro. Like, you know, it's like, your dad was a cold-blooded killer, sister. So, you know, like, please, miss me with that. So, I just felt bad
because it's like, that's still her dad. At the end of the day, that's still her dad. And it's not like she was like, hey, Dad, you should join the mob. Like, he made that decision, and then he brought her into that world. And so, of course, she's going to be sad when somebody kills her dad. Like,
well, I'm
no,
not
I don't
saying
think that it
I'm
was
not
right that
saying
your
she
father wouldn't
shouldn't.
kill
I'm not saying
people,
she
but-
shouldn't be sad. Obviously, you're
But I'm
going to
gonna
be
feel
sad.
bad for her that
Obviously, you should feel sad. But this whole
Never
thing
married
that
anymore.
that Sammy the Bull was some horrible person for killing her dad, I think is just crazy to me.
yeah, no, I agree.
It's like,
I
look,
mean,
you're part
if
of the-
he's horrible for doing that, then your father's horrible too because
Right.
he did the same
and
thing.
you are benefiting, Missy, from your father's evil actions.
Right.
Let's not
Right.
get this twisted.
Right.
So, but it was just interesting listening to the justifications. He's like, well, they were bad. They're all bad guys. They're all evil people. And he's right. But then, like I've been around, those are justifications for other killers, right? It's like, yeah, the guy was a terrorist. Of course we killed him. Well, okay. He was a terrorist. Okay. I guess it's all good then. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting is the people that actually have done that done that killing. I've met. Well, this is interesting. So most of the guys I've ever talked to have expressed real sort of like regret, or I wish I didn't live in a world where that had to happen, but I'm glad I made it home type of thing. There's only been like people I can count on my hand. Like I remember the first guy that introduced me to Navy SEAL culture was actually our neighbor. And when we first moved out to Maine, he had just got out and he was talking about how shaky he was the first time he had to kill somebody. He was in Grenada. And I didn't know about SEALs. I didn't know what they were. So I didn't know any of the mythology or anything like that. So when this guy was talking about how shaky he was at the prospect of killing someone, I was like, of course, yeah. And, it wasn't until later that I realized, oh shit, these guys are supposed to be killing machines. They're just not supposed to care. I've never, like I said, there's two guys that, who's ever said that to me and really didn't care where I believed them. A lot of people have said that to me, I didn't believe it. Mm-hmm. But it was one guy, I'm just going to call him P, and he was in Gothic Serpent, which was the Black Hawk Down thing. Mm-hmm. And he was in a special forces unit, and two of his friends got dragged through the streets. And because they had gone back, they were tooling up to go back out. They saw that and they saw that on TV, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go and kill everybody. He said, we're gonna kill them all wholesale. And his commander, who was a Christian, said, no, you guys stay home. He's like, those guys are out of the fight. They're dead. We're not going to send you in there. And the line that they were given was, we can't risk losing you guys. But that's not why because they were not going to lose those guys. They were going in there to kill all those people. And he is on the other side. He regretted not being able to kill those people that did that to his friends.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
But him, and then there's another guy who I just think is a complete sociopath. But everybody else is expressed. See, I wouldn't put P as a sociopath.
No, I don't either.
I understand. That's an untied shoelace.
Yeah.
And that's
your friend,
a very.
and you dragged him through the street like that?
There's a code of honor, even among combatants. Like look at the guys.
Honor among thieves.
Lone Survivor. Those guys, they got beat. They lost.
Yeah.
And they didn't disfigure their bodies or anything like that. I mean, there's a video of it, but it's the rules of warfare. I mean, it's fine, but and you go back and you fight another day. But that guy, like he was gonna kill everybody on that street. He was gonna kill all those kids, and he was gonna kill all those women. And to this day, well, I talked to him. We had the conversation when I was on assignment in Houston. He was in Texas at the time, and I could tell it was just like it was yesterday. Like if you could have told him, hey, we'll drop you off in Mogadishu, and all those people, they're all aged now. They were there. He would have done it.
Yeah.
Like he never ever got over that.
What's too bad is that because he didn't get over it, and it's still eating him up, it's not eating those people up anymore. Probably, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like they've moved on, and it's gonna just, it's gonna have a very negative effect on his personal soul. I totally get where he's coming from. I would have a real hard time with that too, but I'm just saying,
one of his guys,
anger and bitterness held on to from experience.
One of his guys went back out there, but that guy was really, really smart. He was just going to find his friends. He wasn't trying to, whatever. So,
well,
I guess you got to know your folks. What do you give the song?
9.4.
9.2. It's a good song. Love the musicianship. Makes me want to play guitar. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.